Yeah, maybe one day you'll awake, or maybe you're already awoken, but don't run away from the truth. We need the truth. Don't run away from the truth. Yeah. Hang in there. Run the race all the way to the end. Run the race all the way to the end. Spending money not the only thing we need to do. Giving money to the poor is what we need to do. A lot of lies in this world, but we need the truth. I know you run away, but we need the truth. I know you wanna run away, but we need the truth. It's like we living in the cage, living in the zoo. Why you wanna run away when we need the truth? Why you wanna run away when we need the truth? And we are in there like swimwear. Yes? I'm your host, Michael Isreal, with Real TV. I don't mean a crunch in your ear, but I have to finish this Krispy Kreme donut, raspberry filled. Sometimes you have to treat yourself with a little something. Right? Today's date is February 11th, 2019, 10:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Georgia. If this is your first time tuning in with Real TV, I would like to sincerely thank you for joining today's show. Nevertheless, most importantly, we do understand that YouTube is on the brink of doing what it wants to do. They have a new implementation where they are banning so-called conspiracy videos. Now, the thing is that if you're already signed up or subscribed to a so-called subliminal conspiracy channel or what have you, you'll still get notifications or whatever. But if you're not subscribed, you won't get any recommendations or anything else added to your page or anything of the like. So if you are joining me today, again, I would like to thank you, and I pray that you get some information that you could find useful and helpful to your life and a blessing to you, because I know that we're living in a time where the enemy doesn't want us to know the truth. Today's show is going to be called Acknowledge or Accept. We're going to talk in depth about it a little bit more. I'm going to finish this Krispy Kreme. I'm going to be right back in just a moment. We got a new one today. This one is called 400. Hot off the press. And again, as mentioned, if it comes from the heart, it's heartfelt. So this is a freestyle called 400. I hope you enjoy it just as much as I created it. And we're going to have a couple of back-to-back jams on this short break. And we'll get on to not on the mainstream news and get into today's show. Also, if you're not subscribed to Spreaker Radio, feel free to do so on Spreaker.com. You can find my show, Real TV, under Michael Isreal. So if in the event YouTube does, how can I say it in better words, in so many words, happen to delete a number of conspiracy quote-unquote pages, right? And let's just say I happen to be a part of that bundle. You will have a means and a way to keep in contact with the next shows, the radio podcast. I'm also on the verge, as mentioned, to creating my own network where you will have HD content, real truth, and it will be a subscription based business and a pay-per-view network. I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years now. Actually, 2 years to be exact, on February 9th. And, all grace to the Most High that I even made it this far. I even had the guts to tell people about this truth. But it's really a blessing. And there's some other things that I have in the works, like a clothing line. So we can have some decent things to wear, some clothing with some fringes and some dresses and jackets and linen, some really nice stuff. I see some like Hebrew gear, but it's not what I expected it to be. It's not as fashionable. It doesn't have to look as bulky and oversized like a double XL shirt with these curtain-sized fringes. You know what I mean? We can dress and have style. You know what I mean? Why do we have to be, quote unquote, striving to be holy but look all drab? You know what I mean? Life still goes on. You can have style. You know what I mean? So, in regards to this anniversary and the 2-year brink of Real TV, I want to do something special. So for I don't know, I'm thinking of something, maybe a shirt or something, and I'll show more details in the future of maybe the 3,000 follower, or maybe for like the top 20 members or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out, but I want to do something special for you all. In the meanwhile, check out this new one called 400. I'll be back in just a moment. Real TV. I thought you knew my potential. I'd rather work for y'all than working 9 to 5. We don't want to work for y'all, we get our own job. The way you treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. The way y'all treat us when you wrong, you know you out of line. Y'all don't love us. Snakes don't love doves. Y'all really love blood. Y'all don't even trust us. Got us cooking in your kitchen, don't trust us. But anyway, see why Jordan Peele made the movie Us. See why he made the movie Get Out. Y'all really want us out. And it's coming out. And we coming up on 400. I hope you really want it. We coming up on 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400. And it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. I see your little aggravation. Always trying to start an altercation. Must be your admiration. Always trying to start an accusation. And it's all good. When I saw 11:11, my affirmation, I didn't get so agitated. The Most High led me to you. So hopefully you can know the truth. I'm a sheep and you're a damn wolf. And we can care about your damn wall. Acting like you want some Adderall. Acting like you need some Tramadol. So radical. Or so radical. We coming up on 400. But it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. We coming up on 400. But it's all good. Hope you understand. Hope you got a plan. Sometimes you just have to explain the way you feel. You just have to I'm not a rebel. Hell no, I don't worship no devils. Please don't make me be wrathful. All vengeance to the Most High. I know inside you feel empty, just pray and the Most High is with me. It's what you need to say to yourself to be productive. Don't try to go and measure the sin because it's a lot of pleasure. The rainstorm is raining. Why now? Abundance flowing to me right now. Don't be madly and don't be deceived. Don't eat the fruit like Eve. Don't try to be ashamed. This life is not a game. I'm about to go on a rampage. I need the Most High to save. Oh, right now this is a rage. I know the sound is heavy. This is not heavy metal. The Heavenly Father is mine. All mine, He's in my life. Don't try to ask me why. Are you not a part of the flock? You are like a boat on a dock. God is the opposite of dogs. Fifth Avenue is where they shop. Distribution, old-fashioned, the gorgeous. Yes, these words are really gorgeous. If you understand it, you can afford it. Harmonious birds punish rats quickly, good. Stalking the stair, don't bump your toe in the ocean. Why are you people still voting for the wrong person? That's not God. Freestyle. In the USA, yes, I'm a resident. I ain't vote for no president. I'm all about truth. Anything else, you know it's irrelevant. I'm all about real TV, baby, so come and get relevant. If you talking about anything else to me, you know it's irrelevant. I rap for the Most High. I do it for Yahweh. I gotta live right, We gotta live right, Forget the Donald Trump, Like, yep. The world is crazy, It's going to hell like a handbasket and a baby. Round it. Living the life right, doing the thing right. You know it's out of sight. We going up real high. I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from Savannah. I do it smooth, I rock bandana. And I don't gotta be a thug just to rock a bandana. I like banana, not like some mangoes. I love some chips, and I love some Pringles. And this is a freestyle. Real TV, you know me, this is a freestyle. My name is Michael. Lizards are real. They look like geckos. You know it's just real. Real TV. The world is crazy. I'm still grown, I ain't got no baby. I want a wife. I'ma get a wife. I'ma get some land. I got a plan. I'ma get some produce. I'ma put it on my land. I don't like no mail. I don't like no mail. I like the postman. He give me my mail. I cut my cuticle, but I don't do my nails. I don't like fungus, I don't like no fungus. If you talking that trash, you know it is bogus. This is a freestyle. My name is Michael Israel, like the archangel. I ain't no angel. I'm just trying to be right. Just trying to live right. Just trying to do right. Just trying to do right. Real TV. Real TV. And we are back with another one. Today's episode is called Acknowledge or Accept. But we're going to get into not on the mainstream news. As we know it, we are 4 days away from officially knowing if the government is going to shut down once again. There are some who have filed for their taxes, and there are some who are expecting their taxes and who may or may not get it. Now, if the government does shut down again, chances are you will not get your income taxes that you are expecting. There are 3 million pieces of mail and counting that have been delivered to the IRS that they have received. Now, the IRS has about 30,000 workers on tap, if you will, who are conducting business to make sure that these tax refunds go out and payments are made. Now, on average, they go through, typically when they are fully staffed, they go through about 200,000 pieces of mail a day. With this being said, due to the shutdown and to the low staff, they have over 700,000 pieces of mail a day to go through. Everybody is not going to be getting numbers back. All right. So, this is not fear-mongering, but it's good to be wise. And as mentioned before, we do know the story of Noah preparing the ark for him and his family, being moved by the Most High, and saving food for the survival of him and his family. We should understand that wisdom is a good thing to have, and that knowing what is going on around the world is good to be prepared. I'm not saying to save up food for 5 years or anything, but to have enough to get by for a few months, a few weeks. You know, there are some out there with families, with infants. You know, if you need baby food, if you need extra diapers, if you need to learn how to make diapers from cloth, you know, do the research in the things that will be useful to you if something just happens to go down. Not just because of a shutdown, but what if the grid literally does go down one day? You know, in which it will. One day. What if a natural disaster does happen somewhere in the world where California breaks off? Or a tsunami is so great that it starts from the coast of Maine all the way down to Florida from some nuclear attack, you know? What if the Mississippi overflows and the whole Midwest is covered in floodwater and insects and things of the sort? You know, what if the volcano near Yellowstone erupts, you know what I mean, in parts of Oregon and Wyoming, North Dakota, and the surrounding states have to evacuate? Are we prepared to go through a hurricane for those who are living in the South? You know, don't prepare just because of a shutdown, but acknowledge what's going on during the shutdown and prepare yourself. You know what I mean? I don't want to speak on that too much right now, but I do want to go on what's not in the mainstream news here. Lock your doors and load your guns. Kentucky sheriff suspends law enforcement activity over lack of funding. This is a wake-up call for those around the nation, and of course those who are in Kentucky. Quote from the sheriff: "We have always provided police protection, but without the funding, we can no longer do this. Folks, lock your doors, load your guns, and get you a barking, biting dog. If the sheriff's office can't protect you, who will?" This is coming from the sheriff here from the state of Kentucky. So this is pretty serious. It's just to let you know the possible domino effect of other cities and other states because the police is just that. They're policy officers, policy enforcers. Okay? So our taxes and our money, whichever jurisdiction that we live in, goes to that city, goes to that state to fund the protection and service to the community. And if they don't have money, there is no staff. And the same goes for firemen and women. If there's not enough money in the budget, there is no staff. I can relate to that on a personal level. I actually, at one point, attempted to be a fireman. And I went through all the training. I went through all the physical tests that we would have at the training events. Very fun. Very tough. But I passed it. Passed the 3-panel interview. Passed the 3 tests that I was supposed to take. And the city didn't have money for the budget. And at one point, you know, it was a quote-unquote dream that I had as a child to be a fireman. In fact, as an artist, as many of you have seen the previous shows of For Your Eyes Only episodes that I detail about the art, the first thing that I ever painted was a fireman on a fire truck to help those that were in need. And I saw it from a video that my family and I watched the previous night where we had on this Fun Friday event. And the very next day in kindergarten, the teacher had a class project where they wanted us to draw what we wanted to be as a career. And inspired by this movie that I saw, this fireman went into a door, and as soon as he opened the door, he got this whiplash and fell to the floor. And regardless of his pain and being defeated, he went into that room and he risked his life to save someone. And I thought that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen as a 4-year-old at the time, without having a father figure around, having a single mother. And that always stuck with me. But now I see how the Most High has led me into a way that, yeah, I may not be a fireman helping people from burning cars or burning buildings, but maybe I can help you with this truth in one of these podcasts, or maybe I can help you in one of these video presentations to help you away from the eternal fire. So, in so many words, that's a little small portion about my life for those who are new to the show. But let's get back. We're not on the mainstream news. Woman eaten alive by pigs after she collapsed. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but a Russian woman was eaten alive by pigs after she collapsed on her farm after feeding them. The husband found his wife missing. He discovered the body in the pen while looking for her. She had died of a loss of blood, had bite marks all over her body. Man, you got I can't understand how people eat pigs. We as Jews, we as the Most High's prized possession, his jewels, we are not supposed to eat pig. For those who are having trouble with this, you can go back and look at the video documentation that I've done on the truth about pork. And, you know, I may have to do a part 2 on that, but there's certain things as royal people that we're not supposed to eat, and people who are in this truth. That goes for us Jews and for those who are Gentiles. Eating swine's flesh, eating crab and shrimp and oysters, you have to get off of that. You have to get off of that. I know it may taste good, I know it may smell good, but you have to get off of that. All right? This similar incident happened in 2012 when an organ farmer was eaten by his pigs when he went to feed the animals at his farm. Okay? They say most of his body was consumed by the pigs that weighed 700 pounds each. Pigs eat anything. They will eat their owner. All right? Not on the mainstream news, stay dropping knowledge. Mississippi teacher goes viral with lesson in black history. Kudos to Javon Bradshaw, who had who has such a wonderful teacher out in Magnolia Middle School, who I guess took this photo and it went viral. But this photo here, if you get a chance to look at it, it's beautiful. And it makes so much sense, but it says, "Dear students, they didn't steal slaves." I first read that. I'm like, hold up now. And then it says, "They stole scientists, doctors, architects, teachers, entrepreneurs, astronomers, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, etc., and made them slaves. Sincerely, your ancestors." Absolutely beautiful. And it's all common sense. Slaves didn't do much because they couldn't read or write. You know what I mean? Just think about it. You know, if you were snatched up and you were dropped off in China or Germany or Africa even, you wouldn't be able to read or write their language either. But does that make you useless or any less educated? Something to think about. Not on the mainstream news, Floyd Mayweather is potentially fighting once again. He has a $1 billion deal from the the UFC, to do an MMA match in their ring, in the octagon ring. They want to offer him $1 billion. And knowing Floyd Money Mayweather, he's probably going to take the deal. And, man, it's just one way or another, they're going to get you, right? Sting. They got Mike, they got Michael Jackson, they got Prince, they got a lot of the greats, you know, the ones that we may call greats, who have, you know, decent, you know, catchy music or whatnot. But I wouldn't be surprised if Oprah is on that list, or if Obama or Michelle happens to be on that list over time. But I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd is up next. Not only that, but when you put two and two together, common sense tells us that what are the odds of him not taking the deal? You know, he flashes money. He's very prideful. Chances are he's really going to take the deal. But he's also in the corner of this new fighter. If you haven't seen him or heard of him, there's a boxer by the name of Gervonta Davis. He is 21-0, and he is also in the featherweight class. He has a record again of 21 wins and 0 losses with 20 knockouts. And out of the 20 fights, he has broken every fighter's nose. Like this guy is pretty serious here. He's only 24 years old. So what I'm thinking is this: Floyd Mayweather is in his corner, saying that he could be a next household name, and if anyone else can beat his record, it'll be this guy. But just think about it when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman. George Foreman was up in his age. He came back and fought. So was Mike Tyson. He was a little bit up in age. He came back and fought and lost against Holyfield. What are the odds of Floyd attempting to be in this man's corner, and then they'll flip it around and have Floyd fight this guy? You know what I mean? Something to think about. But speaking of fighting, I just want to go ahead and get into the show because I don't want to make it too long for you. Um, by the way, I do hope that y'all enjoyed the latest video presentations that I put together for you. Of course, there's so many others coming up very soon, and yeah, I just hope that you find them very informative, a blessing to you. But speaking of fighting, you know, we have to remember that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I was inspired to do this show because a colleague of mine, I just found out that he has a mass in his brain. He has supposedly a type of brain tumor, and he's very musically inclined, which is amazing. He could write music. I mean, he talks like a regular person. I mean, works out like a regular person. He just happens to have a mass around his brain. And, just hearing this story, just found out the other day. I was talking with him, and, we all need coaching. We all need counseling. It's good to have someone you could talk with. And something that was in my spirit made me say, hey, I hear what you're saying, man, I'm sorry about that, whatever, blah, 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 but listen, you can acknowledge what they're saying, but don't accept it. You understand? Now, I'm not telling you, this is what I said to him, and this is I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer on this advice here. This is just my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, but I just say what's from the heart and what I believe to be true. Okay, but I said something along the lines of I'm not saying stop taking your prescription medicine. I'm not telling you to not take heed to whatever the doctors are telling you to do. But we're living in a world right now where things are all out of whack. And it's good to have more than one opinion. I understand if this doctor is saying that you have a mass, but what if your paperwork got mixed up with somebody else's? You know what I mean? What if they put you through the MRI and then when you got out, they showed you somebody else's brain scan? I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I'm saying it's good to get another opinion. Have you talked to another doctor? Have you visited another doctor to get their opinion? You know what I mean? Even if you do have this particular situation right now, what type of foods are you eating? Right now, it is time for you to do all the research in the world. You need to get your courage to Kylie dog on. You need to get on your phone, on your computer, start typing and figure out what you need to do to be a better you. Are you eating walnuts? Are you eating cashews? What type of foods can you eat in regards to the brain? Are you drinking enough water? Is it better to drink apple juice over orange juice? What type of music are you listening to? You know what I mean? Is it good to read? Should you do crossword puzzles? You know what I mean? Do everything in your power to make yourself better. But not only that, you have to put the Most High first. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you'll be able to move mountains. But the problem is, a lot of people don't have faith. A lot of people don't have faith, and a lot of elders aren't as spiritually fit as they could be. The scripture says that if someone is sick, they should go to the elders, and the elders should lay hands on them and pray for them, and everything would be fine. But the question is, in this day and time, who can we necessarily go to when all these churches are affiliates? By the way, I do want to give a shout out. Man, I can't think of the name right now, but you know who you are. Man, I made a side note to give you a shout out. Forgive me for not remembering exactly who it was right now, but somebody put me on with Pastor Darby a few weeks out. I think you sent me an email and you recommended I should check him out. My goodness, this guy has been a blessing. Thank you for putting me on with that. That has really been a blessing. And I've listened to a good bit of his work, and I have been very inspired. You know, I've been so inspired by listening to his messages that if he was alive today, I would move to that city to go to that church that where he was preaching. And you know, it's sad that he's gone, but it's a blessing that he went out the right way, because you see a lot of these TV preachers got ATMs in the back and they're all about the dollar. But this man risked his life and gave every ounce of truth there was to give. And his videos are going to touch millions, if not billions, across the world from generations to come. So I thank you for that. And may the Most High bless you. But again, man, I don't know why I'm on that one, man. But I would literally move to a different city I would have moved to that city just to go to that church. If there wasn't a real church, if there is a real church where Pastor Darby was preaching, he was the real deal. He may have been saying Jesus in the beginning and things like that. That's understandable. You know, there's different levels to it. But I understood that he did know that he was a Hebrew. He did know that the 400 years was coming up. He eventually found out that the name Yahweh is our true Heavenly Father's name. I mean, everything started to come together. He was talking about CERN. He was talking, oh my goodness. So thank you for that again. And, you know, I hope that my videos one day could be as inspiring to you all. And there's some stuff that I'm really working on in the near future. I'm thinking about getting me a little church or something maybe in the future. If I get my life together as a whole, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm just a human being, you know what I mean? I'm not ordained by any means. But the world needs this truth, and we all need a building we can go to and give praise and, you know what I mean, have fellowship together. It's one thing to be online, you know what I mean, and have type fingers where we could say hello and oohs and ahs, but there's nothing like a genuine fellowship. You know what I mean? All right. But again, you know, let me stay on subject. Today's show is called Acknowledge or Accept. It's one thing to accept the challenges that we have in life, but we can't give in to them. When I was talking to my homeboy, you know, I was telling him, I was like, you know, imagine if, you know, Lord forbid, I'm not into the superstition thing, so I didn't knock on wood, but I was like, you know, what if your significant other or someone that you cared about was in a situation and they found out that they may have had cancer? Would you start to go and buy chicken noodle soup? Would you start to buy orange juice and fluff their pillow and just soak up the cancer? Or would you live and would you fight and would you do everything in your will to, you know, work out, to eat better, to change your lifestyle, to change your diet? You know what I mean? Until you do all those things, then you are not defeated. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You are only defeated when you quit. And if you accept these things, then you might as well throw in the towel. I don't know who's going through what situation, but a man is not finished when he is defeated. You're only finished when you quit. You're only finished when you quit. And you have to remember, even though you're in this situation, it's okay, because don't forget you're human. It's okay to have a meltdown. I'm not saying hold tears back. I'm not saying bottle up your feelings. I'm not saying don't cry. It's okay to have a meltdown. Just don't unpack and live there. Cry it out and then refocus on where you're headed. Acknowledge the situation, but don't accept it. That's what I'm saying. What can I say? There's some things we can acknowledge and accept. Case in point, this government shutdown, let's acknowledge it and let's accept it. That's where I'm at. I'm not, some people are on, I acknowledge the shutdown, but I'm not going to accept it. I want them to give me my check. I want them to give me my money. I want to go back to work. I want things to be all right. Forget all that, man. Forget all that. Where I'm at right now and where we should all be is that we should be ready and willing for this thing to fall. I cannot wait. My goodness, please. Please. They need to stop playing. If they're going to shut it down, keep it down. That's where I'm at. Like, don't get me wrong. I have plans in life. There's things I want to do. But it's like, I'm doing this for y'all. You know what I mean? Doing these shows. Like, but if it wasn't for that, like, I'm like a rock in a slingshot pulled all the way back. Like, I'm in this world, but I'm trying my best not to be of it. What can I say? I'm in this world, but I'm not trying to be of it. Yes. Right? So like a rock in a slingshot at any given time, whenever the Lord calls me, then that's my time to go. It's like I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know what I mean? Like, heaven is my goal. And that's all our goal, where we should be. That's where our mindset should be. I'm not saying, seek death. You kind of get where I'm going. Like, we shouldn't love this place. Like, the United States will never be the same again. After this shutdown happened the first time, that was it. This place has to fall down. In order for us Hebrews to rise, this kingdom has to fall down. The plagues have to come. The sun has to turn black. The moon has to turn blood red. How many times have we had a super blood moon? How many times have we had a lunar eclipse? Signs of the times are coming. Locusts all over the place in Mecca. They're pouring sewage and stuff in the water. If you just look up sewage spills, there's been sewage spills all over the United States and all over parts of the world where they're trying to contaminate the water, the drinking water, so it's not potable. But doesn't the scripture say we should drink poison and live? We would have been dead a long time ago, but the Lord has had mercy on us. And what a blessing to be alive. What a time to be alive. I would love to see America fall. And I honestly can't wait. And for those who are in debt, you should be embracing it more than ever. Don't you know that once this shutdown really takes place, there's no more debt? But, however, eventually they're going to cause all to bear the mark of the beast. And one thing that you should know is that you should not acknowledge and you should not accept the mark of the beast. There's certain things to acknowledge and there's certain things to accept. But if you get the mark of the beast, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Point blank, point simple. And they're going to be very, 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 very subtle with it, just like they are now. Some banks, you can't even get into the ATM unless you have your card. You got to use the chip to get in. It's 24 hours. So you got to swipe to get into the bank. And then the bank already has a chip. I mean, eventually they want to chip people. And they will. And if you don't do what they want you to do, they'll cut off your chip. I wouldn't even put anything past it. Once you get the chip, if they'll be able to control you. Like, have you doing all type of crazy stuff. But that's here nor there, and we shouldn't even be thinking about getting the chip. Sadly, mothers are going to be in the bind. Scripture says, woe unto the mother, woe unto you into the end times. Those who try to have barren children and things of the sort. Those that give suck. Because they're going to have it where if you don't get your child chipped, or if you don't get chipped, they're going to throw you in jail or try to kill you. We all need to be prepared for 1 foot in, 1 foot out. we all need to be prepared to acknowledge and accept the Most High for giving us this very life that we live, and knowing that if we do what is right, we will have life everlasting. We won't have to ever worry about this again. But there's going to come a time where they're going to persecute us for this truth. So again, you know what I mean? If you're in a situation, whatever you're in, you have to know that affliction may come at some point during our lives. But it's how we deal with it is what makes us stronger. We're going to read from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And I might pull out a couple other verses. But I want to inspire you, not just with earthly words, but with words from our Heavenly Father that is on point all the way. So this is coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 through 10. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not driven to despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. Always carrying in the body the death of Yeshua, so that the life of Yeshua may also be manifested in our bodies. Psalm chapter 34, verse 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of all of them. So whatever you're in, count on the Lord. Whatever you're in, whatever it is. Yeah, you get bills in the mail. You don't have to... You can acknowledge the bill. You know what I mean? But that bill is not your life. I mean, pay what you can pay if that's what you want to do. But you don't have to use every check to pay down these lump sums that you're doing that are afflicting your life. If you can only pay that minimum, then pay that minimum. Whatever it is. Thank the Most High that I don't have any debt like that. But you can get out of that. And the way the system is going, you won't even have to worry about that too much longer. I'm not saying don't pay your bills. But understand that the Lord can get you through it. You got to stand firm. Stand firm in this truth. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 35 through 36. Therefore, do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of our Heavenly Father, you may receive what is promised. We have to be on guard. We have to stand firm in the faith. We have to be courageous. We have to be strong. We have to understand that the Most High saves, and that no one can't stop his plan. Nobody can stop his plan. Nobody. All right? Yeah, that's that. I want to make it a short show today. And again, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, do so while you can. I won't be on YouTube for very much longer. I do have a network that I'm putting together for you all. I do have a clothing line that I'm putting together for men and women of righteousness, which is going to be very cool, very nice, very fashionable with taste and style. It's not sultry, but it will be very stylish. Things you can wear out in the city, things you can wear out to dinner. Guys, things you could wear on a regular day, things you could wear to work. You know what I mean? I'll be talking about that a little bit sooner than soon. The license is coming through shortly. I already have a name for it and all. But I want to do something special for you all for this 2-year anniversary of Real TV. If you have any suggestions, you're more than welcome to post a comment, send me an email. I do have some ideas of my own, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. May the Most High keep you. Most importantly, stay prayed up. Keep our Heavenly Father first, and let's try the best that we can to do the best that we can. Love you much. Stay tuned for the next one. This is chill music. Yeah. This is real music. This is chill music. Yeah. This is real music. You are beautiful. You have to understand this, okay? And you are a handsome person. You have to understand this, okay? Beauty from the inside out. Okay? Not from the outside in. Alright? And I know that everything is going to be okay. I'm here to tell you, don't worry. Don't worry about a thing. Everything is going to be alright. Alright. Don't worry about a thing, are you? And I know that you might think that things won't be okay, but it will. Fairy tales do come true.